I don't know, it seems kind of weird. Maybe I should make the font a little bit bigger. Is this really the right thing to do? Do I need to have channel art ready before I can get started? What might happen if I do this? What if I fail? I wonder if that was the right decision. What will my friends think of me? What is she thinking right now? Why do giraffes have such long necks? How will people react, when I publish this video? But what if people will not like this content? How should I be making the thumbnails? Maybe I should reread this text 5 more times until I publish it. Should I really be doing it this way? What if people will laugh at me? Should I be caring about my logo right now? But I also need to do branding. What about my brand colors? I probably should have said this instead. Well, how will people react to this post I'm gonna make? But aren't there thousands of other people that create the same content as I want to create? Why should people listen to me? Am I overthinking this video intro? Yeah, overthinking. You can probably relate, right? We all overthink from time to time about so many different things which in the end aren't really that important. And overthinking can be extremely destructive if you let it to be. It can mentally drain you and give you the perception of being stuck in this one place and not really having control over your life. So if you don't act now and do anything about this overthinking habit, it might have a very bad impact on your day-to-day life. It might have it already right now and you might not realize it, or you might as well realize it already that it has a very bad impact on you. So in this video, I want to give you a few tips on how to stop overthinking all the time and finally take back the control over your life and live it to the fullest that you can. Hi my friend, my name is Robert Hurt and I want to welcome you to Your Best Self, the YouTube channel that helps you become the best possible version of yourself, one video at a time. If you are completely new to this channel, consider subscribing if you're into personal development, becoming your best self, and living a better life in freedom, happiness, and joy. With that said, let's get into the video and let me show you how to stop overthinking and finally get control back over your life. Overthinking can come in many shapes and forms. It can start from overthinking about the future and trying to predict what will happen if you do X, Y, and Z. It might be obsessing over all the little details of a certain thing that you're trying to do or not do because you're so busy overthinking about it that you're not getting anywhere. It might be questioning every single decision that you make and end up not deciding at all. So this destructive behavior of overthinking is crippling your success. It is paralyzing you and is making you feel like you are stuck in this one place and you are not moving forward. Does that sound familiar? I bet it does. For me personally, the habit of overthinking was a very challenging one to get rid of. And until this day, I wasn't able to get rid of it completely, but I got it to a point where it doesn't hold me back as much as it used to do. Because I know how much it sucks to overthink all the decisions that you make and how much it can stop you from living the life that you actually want to live and do the things that you truly want to do, I want to share these tips with you because they have helped me a lot to stop my overthinking mind and finally get control back over my life again. Tip number 1, become aware of it. Because every single thing that you want to change in your life starts with awareness. Being aware of your problems or challenges that you have in life is the first step to improving them. Because now when you realize you are overthinking, you are able to now perhaps step back for a second and ask yourself, am I overthinking this? Am I stressing myself out over small granular details which might not matter right now? And if you're becoming aware of it, you can change the behavior that you have. So tip number 1, become aware of it. Tip number 2, stop worrying about the things that might go wrong and focus on the things that might happen if you do go right. A lot of times we overthink a lot of things because of one basic emotion, the fear, right? We are fearing that we might do something wrong. We might fear that the decision that we make is the wrong one. And we constantly have this what if cycle that's, what if we're gonna do this? What will happen? But we focus on the negative, right? We focus on the things that might go wrong. So why not switch that around? Why not, instead of thinking about all the wrong things or all the bad things that might happen, think about, what if this is the right decision? What will happen if what I do right here is correct? How will my life change? How will my life improve? And go from there. So switch it around. Instead of worrying about what could go wrong, focus on what could go right. Tip number 3, put it into perspective. Do you make an elephant out of a little mouse? Do you make things bigger than they actually are? Do you perhaps obsess over small granular details which perhaps shouldn't be done at all at this point right now? I know in my journey of creating an online business, I've been obsessing over so many little dumb details. right? I wanted to start a blog, or want to start, a new funnel, and I was about, right, I need to have a domain name, I need to have a website, I need to have a logo, and I need to, figure out what are going to be my brand colors, which font am I going to use, and all those little things, which in the end aren't really that important. At some point they might be important, and you might need to focus on that right now, but perhaps 30 minutes on this one thing is enough, instead of obsessing over it over 2 or 3 hours and sleeping over it over and over again and asking your whole family about advice like which logo should you be using. You can always change that. So put it into perspective. Perhaps you're doing something that shouldn't be done at all right now. So perhaps ask yourself, how much is it going to matter anyways? Will it matter in 1 month from today as much as you think it will? Is it going to have that big of an impact if you're going to choose A over B? Perhaps it might not matter right now. Perhaps it might matter at some point where you need to, squeeze out every single improvement that you can. But to start off with, just go for it. Just do it. And then improve over time. Which leads us to the next tip, which is tip number 4. Do not be a perfectionist. 80% is good enough. Now, being a perfectionist is something that has been a very, very big struggle for myself, because I consider myself as a perfectionist and I want to do every single little thing right. Before I launch anything, I want to get it perfect. I want that there's no little flaw in this thing. Every video I create, I probably redo it 2 or 3 times. Every single sentence, I redo it 5 times because I'm a perfectionist. But I've learned that 80% most of the time is good enough. Because there's this 80-20 rule, right? That 20% of your effort is going to produce 80% of the results, and 80% of your effort is going to produce 20% of the results. So I focus my 20% to make it good enough, and then those last 20%, they will come over time. As time goes by, I will improve myself, I will get better at the certain thing, and it will be easier to get this 80% to 95%, and at some point to 100%. But do not obsess about that right now. Get it to 80%, publish it, see how it goes, and improve over time. This is honestly one of the most important tips that I can give you to not be a perfectionist. 80% is good enough. Keep it at that and improve over time. Tip number 5, change the way you see fear. As I said in the beginning, a lot of the overthinking comes of this basic emotion, which is fear. We are afraid of making the wrong decision because we are afraid that the outcome that we will get is going to be bad. We are afraid of what other people might think about us because we are afraid to being judged. But as you start seeing those things, as you start seeing all the failures, all the mistakes that you might make, and perhaps what other people might think about you, not as a bad and negative thing, but as a lesson you can grow and learn from, and see it as part of the process of evolving and becoming the best possible version of yourself, you will start seeing fear in a different perspective. And this overthinking will get less and less, because you will now know, all right, there is no wrong decision that I can make, because every decision that I make will be a lesson. Whether that's going to turn out great and I'm going to learn from that, or I might fail and I will learn a lesson. So what? So see fear from a different perspective, and you will not have this constant overthinking, on this level. Tip number 6, put a timer on to work. Now, setting a timer for a specific task can be incredibly helpful to be not spending way too much time on a single task. Because you probably have, had that as well, where you were taking like 2 or 3 hours for a task that you could have done in like 30 minutes. Because you're comparing all the time, all right, which thumbnail looks better, which font looks better, which font size is better, and you're obsessing so much over this thing. So set a timer, for 30 minutes or however long you think this task is going to take you, and make sure to get this task done in this time that you have set for yourself. And the last tip that has helped me tremendously to stop my overthinking mind from racing all the time is to meditate daily. As I came back from a meditation and manifestation retreat in 2019, I started meditating daily for around 15 to 20 minutes, and I noticed that I was much, much calmer, and I didn't have this overthinking all the time. I wasn't questioning my decisions so much as I used to. I wasn't, obsessing over all the little details. I was just like, all right, I want to do this, I'm gonna do that. And I'll just post it, and I do not really care about what other people will think. I do not care what results I will get, because I sort of try to disconnect myself from the results and I want to marry the process. Like, I want to enjoy the process as much as I can, but I do not gonna obsess over the results and all the analytics and all of that. Sometimes it is hard, but most of the time I'm able to manage that. And meditation has helped me a lot to be achieving that kind of state of mind. So try it out for yourself. Find somebody on YouTube or on Google that can teach you how to meditate, and do that for a few weeks. Do not say that meditation doesn't work after the first few days, because at the beginning it will be uncomfortable. It will feel like, you're kind of wasting your time because you can't really focus and you do not see any improvement. But after a while, your mind will get calmer and calmer, and you will notice that it doesn't race all the time, and you stop overthinking about every single little thing that you have. It's gonna help you a lot. Just try it out and see for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed those tips on how to stop overthinking and take back control over your life. If you did, let me know in the comments down below, and also let me know which tip did you find the most useful, and when are you overthinking the most? When you find yourself in a new situation, when you're working on a project, when you have to make a decision, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to see your comments, and I'll also reply with my personal overthinking, thing that I do all the time. So yeah, with that said, make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload a new video, and have a fantastic day. This is Robert, signing off.